Welcome to A Real Authority. As we get closer and closer to the end of the summer movie season, it's somehow going to get more crazy and busier because I'm actually going to do three movie reviews 3 days in a row. It's not like I haven't done that before, but it's just crazy because July kind of only had one weekend in which there was more than one movie, and now it's just going to be the rest of the summer movie season. It's not even mentioning the fact that life is life, and I know it's going to get a lot crazier. Also, the internet's out by the time I'm recording this. Don't worry, it'll probably be back up by the time I upload this review. So whatever, I'm going to try to keep it simple and sweet because Nimrods is a movie that I was actually very interested in. It's the brand new Green Day movie that isn't exactly a Green Day biopic, but has Green Day and Green Day songs in it, so why don't we get into it? So the plot follows these three high school students who basically have this band called Analog Dogs, small scale, but they have huge aspirations and also happen to be major fans of Green Day. However, when they somehow fall under the impression that they are actually opening for the band during New Year's Eve, this sends them on a cross-country road trip filled with shenanigans and chaos and, yeah, Green Day. In terms of expectations, I'm not a major Green Day fan, but my mom and sister are. That's not to say that their music is bad because they're far from bad musicians, and also I find myself thinking about Basket Case kind of often somehow. I mean, I know a lot of their other songs, but it's just how it happens that Basket Case is in my mind somehow. You know how songs can basically become earworms? Like, I have a lot of songs that have become earworms for, well, most of my life, so 21 Pilots, that's an easy one. But yeah, Basket Case, congrats to you, probably because of Begonia and their advertising, but whatever. But I mean, yeah, I do appreciate a lot of their music, and again, my sister and my mother are major fans, but also the trailer seemed to be pretty solid, so I was definitely interested in it. Funny but true story, usually when it comes to upcoming movies, I have almost guaranteed to have heard of it. Whether I'm excited or not about it, that's a different story, but I usually hear about the movies. Believe it or not, it was only 3 months ago that I actually heard about this movie, despite it already premiering at film festivals. I was actually scrolling Variety, and then I passed an article saying that Nimrods was releasing in theaters, and it's a Green Day movie, and I was like, wait, there's a Green Day movie, and McKenna Grace is starring in it. How come I've never heard of this before? And because of that, for the longest time, or a decent amount of time, I thought this was actually a Green Day biopic, but no. Green Day's in it, but this is following a new set of characters, and this is wholly fictionalized. And I went to the early access, so they opened it up by saying how a lot of their experiences were injected into the story, so you could see it as like a semi true story or a semi autobiography of the band, even though it's not. Regardless, how was the movie? Damn it, it was a lot of fun. Even not being a major fan of the band, like a lot of their songs really do carry it because their songs just sound damn awesome. But also the original story it weaves is just so compelling, or at least it gets the job done. An effective job at that. And I should say at the gate, this movie is completely ridiculous. Maybe not entirely because it does have drama, it does have comedy, but I really do feel if you're looking for a realistic exploration of this plot, buddy, you're coming for the wrong reasons because I found a lot of moments in which it was kind of hard to miss the fact that you have to suspend disbelief completely. I was able to, but I'm just saying if you're looking for realism, throw your expectations out the window and expect the, well, unexpected to an extent. Starting off with the positives, I feel like the acting is great around the board. I mean, Green Day's in it and they're basically background characters, which is not a problem because this premise is basically following around the Analog Dog crew. All three of them give great performances, even though Mason Thames as Tommy is the lead, and he obviously does a solid job because Thames is a rising actor and he's done solid work in almost anything. But Kyler Kaufman and Ryan Faust as Fred and Chad absolutely carry themselves as well. These three just deliver solid performances, and each of them have their own distinct personalities, enough so that Chad is probably the most, I don't know, nervous of the bunch, but he's also probably the most relatable character because these characters are definitely not perfect. Mild spoilers, but in the opening scene, Tommy literally just ditches school. So obviously they're not exactly role models, but they are definitely talented musicians, like some of the songs they sing. Bravo to whoever made those songs because they sound solid. Like, I'm not sure if they existed before, but given the fact that Analog Dogs was a band that was specifically like made up for this movie, yeah, I have to think that Green Day definitely provided a lot of input in terms of making original music that's not exactly performed by them, but performed by other people, and it just does work. But outside of the singing, the acting's just really strong in terms of developing each of the characters. Even though Tommy is definitely the one you follow the most in this movie, I'm happy that Fred and Chad aren't left behind in favor of, well, the bigger star. Of course, I'm interested in seeing what Thames does next. Idiots looks like a good time, but Kaufman and Faust are definitely actors to look forward to in whatever they do next. Gonna keep McKenna Grace brief because she's not exactly like one of the main characters. She's definitely one of the side characters in a narrative that sees a lot of side characters and a lot of things. Like, I really do feel the main trio of Analog Dogs, that's the main focus. But McKenna Grace is kind of the primary secondary character, even though she's in one of the side adventures. I say that because she's all over the marketing, which I get it. I mean, she's definitely a rising actress alongside Thames, and this is literally not the only movie releasing this Friday. Don't ask, I'm not reviewing it. But yeah, she was charming and solid as Olivia. No complaints there, but there's not really a lot to say in comparison with the other three stars. But yeah, she was definitely solid. For Lee Kirk, his direction and writing are just strong, like all around the board. Like, this movie really does get what it is, and I feel like the directing and the writing have a lot to do with that. It has a lot of comedy that surprisingly worked, like in the lunacy of this entire concept, as well as the misadventures they get into. The comedy just lands almost all the time. Me and my theater were laughing a lot, even at some of the jokes that I feel like maybe in the wrong hands it would have fallen flat, but given the strength of the writing and the actors, it just makes for a comedic delight that adds to solid momentum in terms of the pacing. But it has surprising drama as well, in terms of Tommy's character mainly, but also, I guess, the struggle with Fred's character, even though that's not, like, the main thing. But what they do with Tommy's character in terms of the drama really surprised me. Like, it doesn't overtake the fact that it's not exactly a drama, it's definitely a comedy slash drama. But don't get mistaken, the drama doesn't interfere with the comedy, and the comedy doesn't interfere with the drama. David Robert Jones' cinematography really has that low budget charm to it. Like, I felt like the cinematography, like, it's not the most incredible cinematography you've seen, but for this movie and for what Green Day are, the cinematography is actually perfect. I don't know how to explain it, but the look of the movie really fits everything else that goes into making this movie just such a delight. Like, it doesn't really feel like it's the biggest movie ever made, but it really does keep it simple and sweet, but it also just raises the fact that the writing and the performances just keep you hooked. So I have to give him credit for cinematography that just plays into what else makes this movie just a damn good time. And the Green Day of it all, their appearances are definitely sparse in this movie, but the songs from Analog Dogs and McKenna Grace's One are complemented by the discography of Green Day, and I honestly gotta say, the songs that I recognize and the songs that I don't just fit very well in this movie. Like, even if you've heard of it before and are like, oh, look, there's American Idiot, yay. I really do feel they service the vibe of the movie as well as the story in an effective way, and it doesn't really feel forced because, hey, it's the Green Day movie, we gotta have Green Day songs. No, instead it was really organic, surprisingly so. And I guess finally, I must emphasize, this movie knows what it is and it just runs with it. Like, this movie could have easily fallen into a category which is huge aspirations, wasn't self-aware of what it is, because sometimes movies can accidentally show to be something else while not having the understanding of it. No. This movie knows it's a comedy road trip adventure that, yeah, can get dumb at times, but the dumbness just adds to the charm. Like, with a premise this insane, you need a movie that equals that insanity, and I do feel this movie just fully embodies what a movie like this should be. Like, out of all the movies this year, this one screams, we get what we are, and you're likely going to be on our level, so you're going to have a great time. Point is, Nimrods was an absolute blast. It's a love letter to Green Day fans while also painting a story that is actually really effective in terms of the drama as well as the comedy. The fun factor in this is high, even if you're not exactly a Green Day fan. And in a world where I feel like I've seen much more guilty pleasure movies in the year than, I don't know, I thought I would, I don't think this one's going to classify as that, and maybe is one of the best movies of the year because I just left with a smile on my face, and I bet you will too. Real Authority approves. 10 out of 10. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, comment your thoughts on the movie, and let me know what your favorite Green Day song is. Is it Basket Case or something else? Let me know. Alright, peace.